Unruly faith. Year 765 Hippocampus Rush. Connor returns to his ship. The night is finally over their heads, so he is not surprised to see both a yawning Trevor and a worried Gash. Cap, you're back. Yay, what took you, Captain? Trevor is a dark-haired with equally dark-eyed individual. His last profession as an executioner earns him his very apathetic nature and insomnia. He now serves the ship as the night guard, which is a funny turn of events considering how the three of them first met. He is perfect for Connor's darker side of pirating. This time he didn't need Trevor for those things, guiding them both to the helm's deck to talk. Gash is his right hand. Trevor is a remarkably close second, considering how close they had to work together for unorthodox means. It's been a long day. I'll start with the woman. He explains from the beginning where he met Rhea, then led the conversation to this Ranko lad. The more he shares, the deeper the wrinkles on Gash's face had gone. Trevor had little to no reaction, scratching the back of his ear. Not shocked that you enlisted a child and a woman to do your bidding. Connor takes what he said as his attempt at sarcasm. For good measure, he points a strict stare at Trevor, not even commenting. Gash did all the commenting, the concern riddles in his body posture. Capt, this don't sound safe. You're worried about a few weak-minded scoundrels. Connor verbally prods at Gash, trying in many directions to shrug off his concern. That seems like all he is doing lately, being a concerned old man. Connor moves towards the railing, watching the movement of the night, the regulars of the pub and inn laughing and dancing their way into these places. A joyous occasion if you are just living life day by day without any qualms. Connor had nothing but qualms filling his every breath. His show of confidence is to keep his crew from questioning his authority. Gash has seen the side of him with doubts already. Trevor had seen his darkest side. There is nothing to hide here. Yet that is what he does anyway, finding comfort in this facade of confidence. It's not the scoundrels that I worry about. I worry that you're disregarding what these two people are capable of, especially the cracks. A vengeful, free-minded cracks would more or less flip a town over if they could. Trevor adds to his experience rarely, sitting on the railing and fiddling a knife in his hand. Had to put a cracks down after setting the animals free and using them to trample the villa to the ground. That's ridiculous, and you know it. Connor won't condone falsified claims about the Craxian kind. He had met some great cracks in the past. It isn't their fault that slavery is something forced on them the moment they show up in these villages. He had seen a fair share of them broken from the abuse or burning to revolt. Suit yourself, Captain. Trevor isn't trying to defend himself, which made it harder for Connor to believe the claims. Yet Trevor isn't the type to waste much of his energy on testifying about his legitimacy, so it's hard to tell what the truth is. Crazy story aside, if you're in need of assistance, please take one of us instead. Gash pleads, crossing his arms next to Connor. An honest and good suggestion, and he really did mull over it. Then he recalls the look of utter distrust in those silver eyes, the wildfire that glittered in them. Those eyes promised to cut ties over the littlest of discomfort or mistake. Connor can't involve his crew lest he intends to break this shaky partnership. She'd make things difficult. I'll have to decline. How interesting. Trevor side glances at him, picking at his nails with the tip of his blade. Connor carefully gave Trevor another pointed stare, just in case he is trying to question him. Trevor tends to be hard to guess, but Gash is willing to fill in the blanks. It is. You wouldn't bother to do things on your own with strangers unless you're planned to recruit M. Trevor nods, agreeing with Gash's diagnosis. I would never recruit such a volatile woman. She can barely even understand the difference between a pirate and a gang member. She will more than likely sap his energy with all the anarchy. He can't. He won't. Not if he wants a couple more years with color still in his hair. Plus, she will do better at the orphanage. She can never walk the town streets without an escort, but at least she'll live a life of peace. The peace she will never get on this ship. Connor glares at both equally. I think it's time to end these comments. Connor will have left it at that, except he cannot end his night yet. He saw a Keldeo galloping from one end of the pier to another. Keldeos are beasts used constantly on this continent, either for modes of transportation, battle, or cargo. This quadruped beast is white-furred with a thicker gray mane covering its long neck. Tusks protrude from its long white face, beady eyes set to each side. Two corkscrew horns behind its upright twitching ears. It roars through the crowd, disturbing the festivities. It kept galloping with its slender legs, three-toed hooves clapping against the rough floor. No matter how hard people try to catch it, the beast charges around their attempts. On its back is some sort of covered cargo. Connor gave his quartermaster and guard one very heavy look, then bound towards the pier. He intends to stop the beast from hurting anybody, plus he's curious about what is on its back. Trevor and Gash help. Connor serves the best part in antagonizing the beast. Trevor moves outdoor furniture around to disorientate the beast. Gash uses rope to wrangle it still. Eventually, the Keldeo is given no choice but to calm down and chuff excitedly when Connor offers it a piece of fruit. "Cap, look at this," Trevor mutters to him, blinking slowly, but he points at the package on its back. Connor removes the blanket, exposing the contents for everyone to see. Expensive potteries are strapped onto each other. Heavily gemmed jewelry even fill the belly of these vases. A box which had paper money, a heavily decorated sword, and a few other stuffs. So much valuable items are on the back of a Keldeo beast. Who does this belong to? Then he saw it, the unmistakable sigil of a twisting line, the very same marking that is tattooed on Ranko's face, the markings of the Death Twisters gang. "I need to hunt." That crazy woman. Connor grits his jaw, but everything in him finds this amusing. At least just the fact that a woman cracks is outsmarting a gang. There is another side to this feeling. She can't go into hiding after pulling a stunt like that. She's now a target, and a gang leader like the Death Twister will make certain that everything and everyone associated with her will burn before her. Once she breaks, she will be the next on the chopping block. This is the opposite of helping. Connor should have tried harder to follow her when he had the chance. He miscalculated how reckless she can be. Never had he met a mortal this reckless. No one would dare such stupidity. "Cap," Gash rips him out of his mind, petting the Keldeo on its neck. People murmur while they surround the three, all of them recognizing the sigils. Why would the Death Twisters strap valuables on this steed? It's insane how the Keldeo even got here without no one noticing. What are those hooligans even thinking? Where's the knights when we need them? Connor clenches his jaw. There aren't enough knights in this town to get involved with something like that. The tail snakes are obviously being bribed as these town idiots whisper away. He approaches Trevor, ignoring his temptation to keep the valuables all to themselves. These things are tainted with the markings of a gang. Unless they get rid of the gang, there is no way they can house the valuables without sacrificing their immunity. Besides, the whole town watch their next actions. Any one of them can be conspiring with the Death Twisters. "Trevor, get rid of it and tell me what you learn," the captain commands beneath his breath. Trevor gave a curt aye, taking the reins from Gash and amble off. The right thing is to return it straight to the Death Twisters, but Connor didn't see how that will end well for any of them. The Death Twisters can suspect them. After all, their first assumption won't ever imagine one female being able to achieve something so grandiose. Connor can trust Trevor will do his best to bring the Keldeo straight to the very knights Connor hates. The authorities here won't get involved with the Death Twisters. It is obvious from their absence. Death Twisters won't suspect the knights. A perfect neutralizer. "Cap, what are you gonna do now?" Gash saw through his silence. Connor will always have a backup plan for his backup. He thinks 2 steps ahead of anyone. He's a master tactician in mind and soul. This woman is making him stumble to keep up, dancing a grub on string to get him to keep biting. The embodiment of a loose strand fighting to unravel the mental path he laid down. He'd try to patch it up, but it is always wiggling out of the expectancy. It is extremely aggravating, and yet here he is falling into this new madness. There really is no safe reason for him to be intrigued by this Rhea individual. No good will come of getting involved. He isn't a kind and generous soul to help the needy. He's a selfish, good-for-nothing pirate captain. He won't waste time on people that hold no benefit to his crew. These are all things he strongly believed about himself, yet. I will wait for Trevor, then leave by morn to find out more about the Death Twisters and interrogate a crazy cracks.